Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cassie Montgomery, and today I'm going to be informing you on Disney princesses and their negative effect on adolescents. So, personally, as a female, I usually rely on social media to determine what a pretty body and face should look like, what role a female should embody, and what true love should be. These expectations are not realistic. So, Disney, a world-famous industry, is extremely popular and influential, especially on this younger female generation. Founded in 1923, Disney has been famous for their theme parks and film entertainment for decades. Children and family all over the U.S. attend theme parks, watch movies, and even dress up as the characters from these movies on Halloween. Disney stories usually involve a princess and a prince with some type of happily ever after and a portrayal of the ideal woman. So today I'm going to inform you about the negative effects these Disney princesses are having on young girls. So to start, girls are believing that they always have to look pretty and suffer with body image and are taught to become dependent on a man. So first I'm going to talk about how they feel as if they always need to wear makeup or look attractive. So as you can see in these photos of these two princesses in particular, Belle is wearing a beautiful gown along with Ariel, and their hair is beautifully done. They have makeup on, literally flawless, thin. So, child psychologist Jennifer Hartstein claims Disney is one of the most powerful aspects in children's media, and their princess phenomenon plays an essential role in perpetuating stereotypes by having their heroines embody being young, thin, attractive love interests. So these girls are young, thin, and attractive love interests. These are what the Disney princesses are portraying to the young girls that are sitting on their couch watching these movies. They are also discouraged from having power over men. Educational specialist Rachel Johnson states, women are portrayed as highly sexualized, more passive, and take on less active roles than their male counterparts in these films. Women are often discouraged from power and encompass stereotypical feminine traits, emphasizing their beauty and roles in the home. So, with that being said, many girls also tend to struggle with body image. Besides not having power over men, these women are, throughout the movies, are usually like Snow White, for example. She's doing work in the house, has never had like a powerful job as a CEO, and these princes are like highly known in their towns. So, like I said, many girls suffer with body image, and this can cause depression and suicidal thoughts. Maclean's magazine argues, given the power these films have on children's psychological and physical health, this is an area that must be examined. So personally, as a young girl, when I would sit and watch these movies, I would notice that all these princesses had beautiful makeup and beautiful hair all the time, and they were very thin and always had beautiful outfits on. That is just unrealistic. Girls now my age honestly think that they need to be that way, but as human beings, we don't necessarily need to be this ideal woman that Disney is portraying. We don't need to be super thin. We can all have different shapes and sizes. We don't need to have beautiful hair all the time. We don't always have to look pretty and be wearing makeup. So, at least 30 million people of all ages and genders suffer from an eating disorder in the US. So you can imagine the amount of young girls that are leading to this 30 million people because of these Disney princesses that have such an influence on their lives. So, lastly, like I said before, girls become dependent on a man. Disney has been portraying the incorrect portrayal of true love, and Johnson, an educational specialist, creates another argument. Children in particular are the most vulnerable to accepting these beliefs, especially given the immense amount of media in their lives. As a young girl, I keep connecting this personally to myself just because I watch so many of these movies and can completely understand as to why this is such an incorrect portrayal of love. These Disney movies, usually all the princesses have a young girl who is trying to find her prince and happily ever after. So for example, Beauty and the Beast, a beast turns into an attractive male love interest suddenly at the end of the movie that is so unrealistic and doesn't actually portray what happens in real life. So what these girls are getting at when they're watching these movies is that eventually I'll find true love in this way, or Snow White when she gets woken up by someone from a true love's kiss. That's just so inaccurate and not true. So we need to start portraying more realistic movies and things that show these young girls what life will actually be about. So, a national survey in the U.S. found that children aged 8 to 18 are exposed to the media an average of 7 hours and 38 minutes a day. That is so many hours and minutes throughout the day, and I know for a fact that young girls are still watching these movies and understanding that you're gonna find a true love like these movies do. And all these movies do have a happily ever after, and some could argue that the movies are becoming better, like Moana, the newest movie, where she doesn't necessarily find true love. However, she still is like a beautiful princess and has beautiful hair, but she is becoming more independent, and they are moving towards that. However, they need to acknowledge more often different shapes and size characters. So a solution that I came up with that might be a little bit out there, but I think it would be a great way to incorporate not just young girls that like are perfectly okay and going through everyday life, but I thought maybe they can make a Disney princess with a character that might have cancer, that's suffering from something more realistic, so these children understand that life isn't always happy and easy, and you can't just go through life trying to find your prince. Sometimes the realisticness of life it's hard sometimes, so girls need to start understanding that life isn't going to be this way, because it's the complete incorrect portrayal of how life actually is. So by creating these movies that are more realistic, it's going to create girls that are growing up to be more confident and independent. Just relating to my era now, I feel as though a lot of girls use social media, of course, and are always comparing themselves to like another person on social media, or comparing themselves to someone in their class, and they're always thinking like, oh, that girl's so pretty, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough. And even men make girls feel like they're not good enough, and I feel as though these movies could really make an impact on young girls starting from such a young age. If we make it start at such a young age and get it in their heads already that it's okay to be who you are, I truly think that it will make a huge difference in the upcoming eras of our population. So to conclude, I hope I persuaded you on why Disney princesses have a negative effect on adolescents. Thank you for listening.